Live and direct, baby. We're live mixing. We're into a melodic rap record. If it's your first time joining, this is a pretty deep dive into mixing and mastering. I stream my client sessions, so it's gonna be really fun. It's an actual client piece, and we are going to be in Pro Tools, and I'm going to show you a bunch of stuff because I figured today would be really fun to not like go through a template with you, but just do it completely from scratch. Like, we're going to build chains, we're going to save chains, we're going to route stuff, we're going to do all the things we got to do and build things from scratch. And some things we'll use chains still and presets, but I'm going to show you kind of how to do that from the beginning to the end, okay? So this will be probably like a 3 to 5 part series. And if you want access to any of the replays, right, and you want access to other benefits of the channel, like any of these live streams where I'm going deep into mixing, producing, mastering, etc., then you need to subscribe to the channel and become a member, okay? And it costs money. It's $5 a month. I know, like crazy, $5 a month, but you'll have access to all the replays of all the different mixes I'm doing, and you can learn a bunch of game from them, hopefully. Ask questions while you're on the live. If you're so cheap, you're like, dude, I cannot afford $5 a month to learn everything you know about mixing, Bradley. It's just way out of my budget. I get it. Some people are just broke ass motherfuckers, and that's fine, you know, but you kind of hope that they'll change sometime in your life, right? No, but for real, if you're too cheap to even afford that, then show up to the lives and ask questions and get the game on the lives, all right? So this is for you, and anybody that's here right now, say what's up, because I'm here to help y'all. What's up, Scott? Nice to see you. Yeah, Kusa. All right, so see, we get like the same people come through over and over again. So you guys' records better be sounding super dope. Jonathan, what's up? Dawid? Okay, I don't know how to say that. Dawid, but what's up? Brian, yo, always good to see Brian. We're in Pro Tools, but you know, that really doesn't matter. What we're going to be talking about today is really theoretical level stuff, plugins that you can use in any DAW. So don't worry about what DAW we're in. Just worry about learning the concepts and understanding what we're doing here, okay? That's my biggest piece of advice to you. A lot of people ask, oh, I don't want to watch the live stream because I work in Persona Studio One. Who gives a fuck? A compressor is a compressor, an EQ is an EQ, a reverb's a reverb, a delay is a delay, a bus is a bus, a send is a send, a console is a console. Like, y'all got to understand, wrap your head around this. Any DAW is any DAW, okay? Got it? Cool. All right, let's get it. All right, by the way, I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm just like saying how it is. Like, when you first start getting into this game, you guys think like a DAW is like so different. Oh, FL Studio, I can't watch this Pro Tools thing. I use FL Studio. It's like, bro, you missed the point 100,000%. Like, you just do not understand. Like, audio is audio, MIDI is MIDI, samples are samples, kick drums are kick drums. You know what I mean? So we're mixing today. I'm gonna open up the session. It is called Bright. And this is by an artist, I think his name's Seven God, but I'm not sure, don't quote me. I know his name is Evan Foster, and he tunes in a lot, so hopefully he'll come through and he'll say what's up. But we're going to start from the beginning. We're going to go like from the very bottom, all right? I'm going to show you kind of, and I'm going to give like pointers on recording and gain staging and all that shit, right? So hopefully that's going to help you guys really understand these concepts and get them through. Yo, 2:40 a.m. Poland, what's up? Poland's in the house. All right, so we're missing some plugins. That's fine. This is his session that he sent to me, okay? So I get sessions from clients in Logic or Pro Tools. I get stems, get all sorts of stuff and different ways of mixing stuff. So this is his session. So we're going to go through kind of like what I think when I first open a session and what I'm going to do with this. But first thing I'm going to do is hide the comments, because why do we have comments if there's no comments there? Just save real estate. Anything you're not using, like, hide it. Like, for example, there's no sends on F through J. Okay, that's just taking up real estate. Right click, get rid of the sends. In any DAW, okay? If you got real estate taken up over here, hide it. All right. Okay, cool. All right, so now we're in Pro Tools, and what we have here at the top is the reference bounce, which is always where I start, and then we're gonna just kind of listen and we're gonna hear what's going on here. Yeah, that's the vibe. I need to go ahead and rack up these $5. Bro, it's $5 a month. Subscribe to the channel. You get replays. So you get all the replays. You get access to all this stuff. I'm going to start dropping presets on y'all too, whoever's part of the channel. Just because, you know, I want to help you guys out. That's really what it is. Would you like more? Just curious. I like, so Pro Tools for mixing, mastering, and audio. So editing and audio, I like it better for that. Logic Pro, I like better for composing, producing, MIDI, samples, sound design, stuff like that. So yeah, I use both. I do. That's the truth. I use all sorts of DAWs. I use FL Studio sometimes, you know. Someone just sent me a copy of one of the guys over at Persona and Fender sent me a copy of Studio One. So I might test that out and give that a shot. So any Studio One users, I might be making some really dope channel strips soon for y'all. So there you go. Studio One. Compressors compress, baby. Yeah. And you know, like, I'm not dogging anyone. I'm just telling you guys like how I really feel. 6 a.m. in India. That's what's up. Get right at it, bro. You wake up, get into the mix zone. I love that. Chile. Dude, we got the whole world in here. It's good to see you guys. All right, so let's listen to the reference here. Let's really like dive in and check this out. So I'm just going to solo it and play it.
For the new moments, jumping out of planes, falling into the future. Oh, here we go again. As I open up my eyes, I meet you when the sun rises. I'll be your morning light when it's dark outside, shining bright like a star in the night sky. 48 feet, phantom on the line. Wait, no, I mean 87 burning bright. Don't look directly into the light. Oh, here we go again. As I open up my eyes, I meet you when the sun rises. I'll be your morning light when it's dark outside. They say true love is unconditional, and you can't be forgiven unless you learn how to let go and forgive yourself. Oh, just let me live. I'm still learning how to move along on this journey we're on. And once I hit the gas, everything disappears. The way you moved on from the past, I see it's clear. You never really cared, so no, I'm crying in the mirror. I'm busting out of my city like King Kong. Once my boys hit you up, that's ping pong. Time to do the.
Okay, we get the point. We get the gist, right? Melodic rap stuff. Post Malone, someone said. I think that's a good reference point for sure. So overall, I feel like it feels thin. The vocals have no control, which means like dynamically. There's pitch problems and things like that, but I think they're kind of going for that, you know, that auto-tune kind of vibe. I look at the session, I get a lot of clues from the session, right? So what I got in the session was I did not have any of the stems, okay? I only had the vocal stems and the beat, okay? So this is what I was given when I opened the session at first. I'll show you. So you can kind of understand where I was at, and kind of confused a little bit. But I went through and I colored everything, and that's really, really important for my workflow. And I'm just going to go through the colors really, really quick with you guys. So this teal color I use for all my sends and effects, okay? So sends, buses, and effects. Got it? Okay, so delays, rap verb, reverb. This is all his stuff. Whoever made this session put these in here. And the funny thing is that I see what he's got here, and I can tell that he's watched some of my masterclasses and shit, and he's definitely like ripped off some of it. Like the fattening, the rap verb, the delays, like these are all from my shit. Okay, so maybe he had like my template, or he watched some masterclasses and copied them, etc. And I guarantee that's what he did. So I'm not just like patting myself on the back or anything. All right, so then we got the vocals. All vocals are going to be hot pink. You can see them all right here. This is all his routing, all his plugins, all his stuff going on, okay? And then I got the beat here. He's put Pro Q3, Sooth 2, Pro Q3, Auto Key 2. So these are all his plugins. I didn't touch any of this shit. I did replace his auto-tune because he had the UAD version. I just put Pro on there and I matched his stuff, okay? So retune speed, flex tune, humanize, natural vibrato, etc., and the key, D major, right? So I just matched his stuff that he already had. I can already tell you the issue, and a big issue with this session is, look how tiny these waveforms are. He's not going in heavy enough on his, he's not opening up his preamp. See that? That's crazy. That's so low. So there's something weird going on with the way he's recording. And the reason I tell you that is because I want you guys to learn from that as well. He's got this vocals going through the vocal bus, and this is his vocal bus, not mine. He's got an RDSer, he's got a Pro Q3 doing a bunch of stuff here, and then he's got an Avalon 737 with a mic input. So that means he probably was tracking through this as a mic pre, but that's not how you do it. You need to track through a mic pre with UAD. You put it on the actual UAD console, okay? So hopefully you guys are understanding that there's a bunch of issues here that I can't really fix, but we're going to solve in certain ways. So if I go to the console here, the reason you want to use the console when you track through these preamps and shit is, first of all, because the gain structure, but the second thing is because these unison, this actually models the preamp. It models different impedances and all those things for that preamp. So when you use this as just an insert past after, like a de-esser and a Pro Q and all that stuff, you're going to get weird coloring, phase shifting, all sorts of awkward stuff that's not going to be right, okay? It's just going to make the sound really different. I'm not going to say it's not right, because there is no right or wrong in audio and producing and all that, but you're going to get some weird shit, and it's not going to be right in the sense that your gain stage and your structure's all fucked up, okay? So, and I'll show you that later and why that's super important. And then you got these sends from the vocal bus, which is sending to all those different things, right? All right, cool. And then he's got a Vox side. I don't know what the fuck this is. Maybe some sort of like parallel compression EQ thing. Same thing with his submix side. He's got some crazy shit going on here. We're going to pretty much delete all this stuff, okay? But I am taking like note of like what he's thinking. Like this is a side boost, all the top end, 17.79 dB of 17K going into the sides. It's fucking crazy. Like, sometimes that makes sense, but that doesn't make sense to me, because that means there was a big problem or issue with the recording, the mix, something weird, right? You got a distressor here doing parallel compression, and we're only compressing the top, but this isn't even compressing because it's 1-to-1. So when you do 1-to-1 ratio, you're not compressing at all. So maybe he's just going through this for the tone. Don't know. LA2A, looks like that's doing some heavy compression. And then a standard clip on the vocal sum that looks like it's clipping. Like, not in a good way. So it's probably clipping the ceiling, which is what I'm seeing here. All right, so, and then that's going to a duck and a Vox side bus. And I think it's because he was trying to mix the vocals to the beat stem. So then I asked him for the beat stems. So I have all the beat stems right here, okay? And then this has a submix. Whoa, what the fuck is this? I don't know what's going on here, but it looks like he turned it all down. Right? So he was probably using this as like a gain stage because everything else was doing weird shit. And then you got an SSL channel. Yeah, I'm just going through all the plugins he has on here. God Particle. Okay, limiting at 0, pushing into the input a little bit more. See, this doesn't make sense. So you're boosting 1.7 dB. Why were you taking down 3.5 here and then bringing it back up here, right? So these are like little things like ADHD kind of shit that I see when people mix their own stuff. And then another standard clip on the submix. And then that is going to submix side. Now that's an issue too, because you have a submix side bus. So I have a submix side bus that's going out monitor left and right. So that's a no-no. That's a huge no-no, right? Because you have this adding gain, but it's not gonna hit everything, and it's gonna go out the master as a parallel, which I can tell you right now, you're going to get time differences. You're gonna get delay shit. So for example, I'm gonna mute the submix. So this is the submix. This is where everything should be going to. And let's just hear this. I'm going to mute all of the stems that I have. Okay. Hopefully you guys are understanding what he's got going on here. I'm just trying to break it down for you, but it is kind of confusing. There's some weird shit going on. So I'm going to mute the submix. I'm going to mute all the stems, and I'm just going to bring in what he had in the session, which was the beat and the vocals. Okay. So if I hear anything, I now have a parallel going to the master bus and the submix. All right. So check it out. Here's what I'm going to show you right now.
As I open up my eyes, I need you when the sun rises. I'll be your morning light when it's dark outside, shining bright like a star in the night sky.
Like, yo, you can't do that, you guys. That's not right. And the reason it's not right is because check this out. Like, listen to the phase right now. When I'm gonna mute and unmute this submix, but then I'm also going to this submix side that he has going to the monitor left, right, and the Vox mix side, right? So you have two buses that are going. I want you to understand this, like, because this is fucked. So you're limiting and you're clipping. So you're hard clipping the output, which is fine. That's totally fine. But then you're paralleling. And this is where everything's ending up. And you can see you're clipping the master. So right away, you're going to have phase issues. It's going to sound phasey. But then you're also going to have gain problems because you don't have any limiter thing here. He had something on here, but this is just a VU meter. See, VU meter. Like, it's just metering. It's just showing you what's going on. But that is clipping. So let me just show you what I'm talking about here. So submix muted.
As I open up my eyes, I need you when the sun rises. I'll be your morning light when it's dark outside, shining bright like a star in the night sky. 48 feet phantom on the night.
Like, it's all over the place. Like, there's some random shit going on, okay? So you guys really, like, this is why you hire people, or you get help, or you learn, you know, you join these streams and you learn some shit, right? Like, this is all like paralleling and phasing, and you got gain problems. You're clipping the master. Like, this is where everything's ending up. The master. Regardless of whether you make a submix or not, if you make a submix and you send everything to the submix and then you parallel something else, you better make sure that this master also has a limiter, and you better make sure you don't have phase issues. And you're going to have phase issues because you have the God particle, which is going to cause, it's going to give you delay, okay? And then standard clip for sure is giving you delay. This has oversampling on it by 4 times. So you're oversampling by 4 times and using God particle, which is a mastering grade plugin, which means that probably has oversampling or look ahead to it. Yeah, this is a big no-no. This whole routing is all fucked. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to strip it back down. I'm going to listen back again to just the reference and hear if there's anything I can get from it that I want to save.
As I open up my eyes, I need you when the sun rises.
Yeah, even the vocals just sound really phasey and flammy in a weird way. Not in a good way. It sounds like awkward. So let's start from the beginning. Let's just start. Let's rebuild this bitch. All right, so submix, just to keep this really easy, I'm gonna call this my master bus, or my master bus sum, or whatever you want to call it. We'll use his submix bus. That's fine. Doesn't matter. We're going to take our drums. I colored them all brown like I always do, and my bass. So I have 808 bass, all that stuff. They're all brown, this like weird putrid brown yellow color. Everything else I'm gonna mute for now. So I'm gonna select all these tracks down here. I'm going to Option Shift Mute. That means due to selected in Pro Tools. And we're going to start bringing the drums through a mix bus, okay? And by mix bus, I mean I want to bring the drums. See, and these are going monitor left, right. This doesn't even make sense. Okay, so I haven't routed these yet, so I won't get ahead of myself. So these are the stems for the drums. I'm just going to unmute all of them so you can just hear the drums and the 808, and that's it. Wow, that's a hard-hitting kick. Not in a good way. That's a destroyed kick. So now what we want to do is bus all of this to a mix bus, okay? So Option-Shift, I'm going to take these out to a new track. And I'm going to make this an AUX, stereo AUX input. And we're going to call this drum mix. Drum mix bus. Okay. Bam. Now all my drums are going to hit this drum mix bus. And I'm going to put those at the top of the drum mix, like all these drums. I'm going to go and make this the putrid yellow as well. And then I'm going to take this out to a new track. And I'm going to call this drum master bus. I know, you're like, why? That's crazy, man. I'm crazy, bro. I'm insane. I'm insanity, brother. All right, so now these are going to go now, guess what? To an all drums bus. Bam. All right, now the all drums is going to go to the top here. The all drums is going to go out to the submix, okay? Make sense? Where's that submix? Submix. All right, so now this all drums bus goes to this master bus. Cool. I'm going to delete this submix bus and Vox side. I don't know who taught him this shit, but this shit's garbage. See ya. Phase. I'm going to get rid of this VU meter. This is where everything's going to end up, this master. This is the final output stage to my speakers, okay? No matter what. So you can see here, submix, input, and then monitor left, right, output, that goes to the master. Really doesn't go to the master. This is just a fader, just showing you the master, okay? So like, think of it as like, that's the master fader. Got it? Cool. All right, so now we have, on our master bus, we have all this shit that I'm gonna get rid of. Boop, 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 boop. I think you could probably do this a quicker way, but I'm just gonna do these one by one, no insert. And then I'm gonna get rid of this send, no send. See ya. So master bus has nothing on it right now, okay? Drum mix bus, I'm gonna right click on this. I'm going to recall a track preset that I have already for drums, or I'm going to bring it in. I don't know if I have it in here. Let's see here. I may have like saved it somewhere randomly. Drum mix with parallel compression. No, I don't want to do that. F all that. F it. Drums. I thought I had my drum mix bus in here. So I don't. So in Pro Tools or Logic or FL Studio or any fucking DAW, you can go and import session data, okay? Which is Option-Shift-I. Okay? So all I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here and I'm going to find something that I mixed just recently, right? So let's go to this Chris and Corbet track, which I've been streaming quite a bit, the Black Leather track, which I think is super dope, and I can't wait for that to drop. And then I'm going to double click on the latest session, and it's going to open up all this stuff, and then I'm going to see that I have all of my different routing and my different subgroups and everything. I can bring all those in. I'm just building these from scratch, at least one of them, so you can understand what I'm doing, okay? But let's grab just the drum mix and the drum master bus. And what we can do is we can go, we can match them. So see this? Destination drum mix, go to the drum mix bus, which is 5, right? Drum mix bus. And then the drum master, we're going to go 6. This is going to match those and we're going to be good. Don't import the existing playlist, because that would mean like importing any automation or audio or whatever. These are auxiliary tracks, so that doesn't matter that much. Let's hit OK and let's watch the magic happen. Actually, we should give you like a 56K dial-up modem sound. I love y'all for putting up with me, man. Like, for real. All right, let me see what's up. Yeah, you have to like learn what to avoid. That's really, really important. Clipper on the vocals, not crazy, dude. Jonathan, just so you know, that's not crazy. But yeah, what's boy doing for real? I have no idea. But you know, people do weird shit. That's the truth. Brower eyes. Yeah, I like Brower eyes, but it just gets too confusing. I mean, you know, we all do our own thing. Brower's the man, though. He's a genius. He makes amazing fucking mixes. Phasing for sure. Yeah, this is it right here. When newbies overcomplicate the process, it's easy to get lost and messy. And I'll tell you, like, the truth is, the color coordinating, the mix buses, the things you always constantly do, and the templates and presets, the channel strip presets, the track presets, these things, they're made so that you guys can be more effective and efficient. They're not made like everyone you're going to see online that doesn't know shit about shit. They're always the people. Channel strip presets don't work. Like, why would you say that? Like, what's wrong with you? Your brain broken? You know what I mean? Like, oh, because everything's different. Everybody records things differently. Fucking duh. Like, that's not the point of a channel strip or a track preset. It's a starting point. It's a way to get things moving, and then you tweak. That's it. It's very simple. And if you understand compression, you understand EQ, you understand the basics of audio, you know how to tweak a channel strip. I just did it on these drums. I just put a drum mix bus on here. The Jason Joshua mix I got EQs. I got 4 8 and less buses. Like, bro, I'm going to tweak this shit. I'm not just going, oh, this is done. I'm just going to track preset. It doesn't work. Why doesn't it sound like a hit? Like, come on. You guys wake up. Don't be dumb, right? Like, the number one rule to anything in life, making cool shit, is don't be a fucking idiot. Like, let's be real. Think. Use your brain. All right, so R bass going to Shadow Hills, little dee-da-dee, ba-da-da. Sometimes this saturation gets turned off. But yeah, it's on. And then pentode, usually 58 or so, mix at about 80, output. Yeah, all this shit's coming in perfectly. And then BX Digital, we might tweak this, okay? So now, I would be a fool to just start hitting this with all these drums and just go nuts with it, right? What I want to do is just make sure my routing is going through. So I'm just going to play real quick. And right away, no routing, right? Like, it's just not going through. And that's probably because when I imported session data, it changed these buses, okay? So you can see drum underscore mix. So now we have to go back to drum mix bus. I don't know why it does that. Actually, I probably do know why it does that. But anyway, drum master bus. So we got a drum mix bus and we have a drum master bus that we've made, right? So that's what we're going to use on those inputs. And then that goes to all drums, but it imported all these different names and different buses. So I don't want that to get confusing because we imported session data. That's why it did that. All right. Just understand that. So you can always go up here to IO and you can go to buses and you can delete the ones that it imported, which is going to be these underscore ones, right? So all drums, drum mix, these motherfuckers, and then a drum master MST. So we just delete them. Delete, see ya, I don't care. And then what is this? Drum mix and then all drums, right? Delete, done. Now we're not going to get confused when we go, why is this, where's my drum? Why don't I hear them? All right, so let's play it. All right, still nothing. Wow, what the hell's going on here? Okay, so that's not good. So drum mix bus, coming in the drum mix bus. Make sure this is going out into the drum mix bus. Yeah, looks right. I don't understand. Oh, here we go. Drum mix bus, no output. You got to take that to the drum master bus. I know this is like super irritating for you guys that are like, huh? What just happened? But just follow along. All right, so right away, it's way over compressed, like fucked up, like, oh, it's hitting way too hard, all this shit, right? And you're like, presets don't work. Why this doesn't work? Why wouldn't this work? Again, don't be an idiot. That's the biggest key here. All right, so now what we're gonna start with is we're gonna start with a kick drum. There's always when I start my my drums, I wanna mute everything else. I just wanna bring in one at a time. Let's go kick drum, and then we're gonna bring in the clap or whatever, and then we're going to bring in like 808, you know, we're going to get the foundation of a rap record going, which is pretty much drums. All right, so here's your kick drum, which is probably going to be hitting way too hard. That is just a terrible kick. I'm sorry, like, what is that? It doesn't even sound like a kick. It sounds like someone hitting a paper box or something. Wow, you see that? So I just trimmed down the gain on the clip because it was so clipped out that it literally like gave the punch back. And you can see it's so clipped out. Like the sample, whoever produced this, like they fucking clipped it. So that's not good, man. Like you don't want that shit. Such a shame. So when that shit happens, like as a mixing engineer, I could be the guy that goes like, I mixed it. I'm going to go in, I'm just going to use a bunch of EQ and compression and all this crazy shit. Or I could be like, yo, I'm smarter than that. I'm much smarter than that. Let's open up Trigger. Because my guys over at Slate know what the fuck it is. What the fuck it do? I'm going to go to the browser. We're going to pick up some drum samples here. Just a sample maybe that I use all the time. I don't know. Let's just try to get something better than this shit because this is garbage. There we go. Much sexier. We can even try like kick layer BOF. I don't know what this is, but I like this one so far. Let's go JB kick. Bam. There we go. We got some punch back. Let's go to triggering and let's make sure that we trigger this kick instead of that shitty kick that we got. See how much easier that is? Okay, so now what we can do, because we have this kick replaced and it's hip hop, so it's like pretty programmed, we can right click on this and we can say commit. Commit, and bam, let's just do that. So it's asking me, hey, what do you want to commit? Edit selection, sends, all that stuff, cool. Yeah, sounds good. Offline it, bam. We're gonna render that. And there you go. You got your new kick. Now, again, you can go in here and you can go back to that kick and turn it back on because I had it, so it turned it off. And then maybe you can make that active and you can blend that in. So let's just bypass trigger. And now let's hear these kicks together, right? So now we have both these kicks and we can kind of blend them together. And what I would do is I'd treat this, the one that he already had in here, the clipped out one, I would treat this one as like sort of the distorted MPC kind of vibe. And then I treat the one that I just popped in here as like a sample, like thickener, like a low end kind of, you know, punch stuff, right? But you can see at least like this one is a little bit clipped out, but you know, it's not like crazy. And then also you want to make sure the phase is right. You see this? Like you can see right away that the phase is off. It like moved it a couple samples. So definitely make sure shit's hitting at the same time. That's how you make your kicks hit. Any sort of sample, like yeah, you got to get shit to hit. All right. Now another thing, I use a little cheat code here because I'm a cheat code guy. I like to move fast. I'm going to use this this plugin that I absolutely love. My guys over at Sound Radix. Sorry, they're the best. They just make super dope shit. And I'm going to use the auto align post because I'm a bad boy. And we're going to align these to phase accuracy, okay? So what this is it's basically saying, hey, where is the key input that you want to align to, okay? So I'm gonna select my sample, or actually rather, I think it'd be better to align his kick to my kick. Right? So what I want to do is on the key input, I want to pick kick1.cm on 13. Okay. So kick1.cm on 13. And then I want to select my track that I want to align. Okay. And I want to do static because there's no, let me see here. Hold up. Why can't I select these? Well, maybe it'll happen after I do it. So maybe because it's an update that needs, but I don't know. But anyway, I want to select this one and I want to render. So this one is now going to align to my key. Okay. Now we're going to get sample accurate, like super phase accurate sample. Okay. And see if we could do static. It should be static, but dynamic might work too. So now it's already been, it's been rendered, right? And the way you could tell is it's going to name this something different. As you can see, if I zoom in, auto align.p, right? So now let's hear these kicks together after phase alignment. Magic, right? So now we got like a punchy kick. Now let's undo that just so you can hear the difference. Here's after auto align, and then I'm gonna undo and you're gonna hear it before. Hear how we got the low end back? We got the punch back in the kick. So it's pretty low level right now. I mean, I'm sure you guys aren't hearing it really well, but anyway, that's magic to me. Like, just using that is going to be a huge game changer when you start to layer in samples. Okay, so for the punch here, because this is like a punch kick, I'm going to get rid of the trigger also. I'm going to make this kind of more punchy in the kind of like 100 to 500 area, and I'm going to get rid of some of the sub stuff in that kick. Okay, so that's some punch there on that one. I think that's fine for now. And then on this one, I'm gonna drag this Pro Q3 and we're gonna make this knock a little bit harder on the bottom in that 60 area. All right, and then our compressor is choking this way too hard. So we got to adjust this threshold here, okay? This threshold and this compressor was set for a very, when I imported it, it was set up for something completely different. So when you hear this compressor, I want you guys in the comments, because I want you to learn from this, like really, really learn from this. When I play this kick, what do you guys hear that this compressor needs to be adjusted? Like, what needs to be adjusted on the compressor right now when you hear this kick? All right, what do you guys think? I want to hear in the comments, like I want to know what you guys think needs to be adjusted on the compressor when you hear that kick drum. All right, I'm gonna wait for you guys because I know I got a lag here. Yeah, I need to learn all this. I'm hell-bent on getting there. You'll get there, man. You'll get there. It's gonna take you years and years and years. He went JJ on the mix buttons. I joined in late. Yeah, the song's all right. It's pretty good. I like it. It's got a good melody. What's the point of the clipper on the vocal bus? The clipper on the vocal bus sometimes is to add harmonics, right? Distortion, which is really great, and level, and keep it solid and consistent in the middle and never move, like get too dynamic, especially in rap or rock vocals. Like clipping, like soft clipping is a great way to do that. Sometimes compressors can't do that. Sometimes compressors will actually make the vocals sound smashed and shitty, but a clipper will make the vocals sound nice and like present and in your face, but not dynamically choking down on it. So yeah, I like a clipper. Yeah, the kick is like game changed already. Yep, got to fix the phase. Phase is everything. Now listen, fixing phase, that's not always a thing. Sometimes you flip the phase and it's out of phase and it sounds better. Attack and release. That's a very good start. Yes, I agree. And Brian, release. Okay. So right away for me, both really great answers. Brian, not release so much. So the reason I say not release so much, and I would actually say attack a lot more, I wouldn't say attack and release, but I would say attack number one, right? It's attacking way too hard. When a compressor attacks too hard or too fast, it compresses harder. It's simple, right? But you also have to think some compressors just attack hard. They're just fast compressors. They release fast too, right? So this is just, for me, a threshold thing. This is like too much compression, like straight up. Like like I even showed you the meters when this is hitting. Sometimes that has nothing. Yes. Okay. So threshold is number one on this, because watch this. I'm gonna back off the threshold and watch what happens to the kick. Listen to what happens to the kick. I'm sorry. I keep using visual terms for things that are auditory, which it's my bad. I just do that. I think of mixing visually. Even when auditorily is how you need to do it, but need to let the transient through. Yes, but you can still have the slowest attack as possible on a fast compressor, on a VCA or something, and compress too much and it'll choke that kick drum out, right? So that's something to really understand, Scott. And you know that. I mean, just look at the meters. That kind of compression on a Shadow Hills is really insane. Like, that's a lot. This is a master bus compressor, right? So let's go on the optical, because that's what we're on, is optical. Let's take this down. Let's start to back off the threshold. And I only want to tap this. I want maybe a dB of compression on this. Holy shit, right? Now, this is where, after I've backed off on the threshold and I'm like, wow, I was compressing the fuck out of it and it was smashing the kick. And all the dynamics go, like, where's the punch? Where's the kick? Where's anything? This is hip hop, bro. Like, you can't be just smashing down on a kick drum. So again, like, yes, channel strips and presets do work, but if you don't understand how the fundamentals of a compressor, you're never going to use channel strips right. You're going to be like, well, I turned on the channel strip and it doesn't sound good. Like, know why it doesn't sound good. Why does it sound like that? Like, automatically my brain's like, too much compression. It's maybe attacking too fast. Maybe it's releasing too slow. Maybe it's way too much compression. So the first thing I do is I open up the Shadow Hills and I look at it, right? And I listen. Oh, this compressor for drums is everything, bro. This is on my drum master bus, okay? So this is after it's going through the NLSs. This is Jason Joshua shit. I can't take credit for this at all. Jason Joshua is a huge mentor to me, especially for hip hop mixing, bro. So I'm gonna take this back a little bit, and I'm going to I'm just checking all this out. 260, that area can get really punchy and overdone. But I want to listen first. I don't want to start adding or subtracting. Again, this is from a template, a preset. So listen, use your ears and understand what it's missing and what's too much and all that stuff. But before you do any of that, turn all that off and just listen. Okay, our bass giving us some harmonics in the low end, which is amazing. Now we got the Shadow Hills giving us tons of harmonics and punch. I'm going to bypass in and out on this Shadow Hills. Like, yeah, we're getting more gain out of it, but overall, that is perceived loudness from the distortion, the harmonics in this plugin, and also the compressor just giving it some more snap, which is amazing, right? This is at 1.2. Like, the ratio is so tiny. We're on the slowest attack, okay? So the discrete attack, which is, this is if you switch to discrete, this would be slow attack. Like, I'll show you what that sounds like. Okay, so what I'm doing there is I'm switching from optical to discrete. The discrete, the reason you would switch to the discrete on the Shadow Hills is because then you get a variable attack. You can change the attack speed, right? You can go to 30 milliseconds, etc. Now, if you want to get a kick drum to be really, really punchy and shorter, I'm going to show you a trick, okay? You guys ready for a trick? You want a compression trick? A hack? I always love saying hack because there's all these TikTokers out there like, here's the hack. Oh, I found a cheat code. Fuck me, man. You guys ready for a cheat code? Man, people sell you anything. This is how you get the cheat code sauce, bro. Oh my god, it's not cheat code. It's just understanding how shit works. So anyway, let's shape this kick drum, okay? I'm going to show you a plugin that is just ridiculous for that, okay? So I'm going to bypass the Shadow Hills, and I'm going to open up the Omnipressor. The Omnipressor is... This thing's a beast. It is a beastie motherfucker. So in the Omnipressor, if you want to take a kick drum and make it really short and punchy, which I don't want to do for this one, but I still want to show you how to do it. You take the attack time, okay, and you make it slower. See, because this goes to 100 milliseconds. Make it kind of, this is still really fast, right? Like 60 milliseconds is fast as shit, okay? And then you got the threshold here, and then the release time. This is everything. And then we're going to go to the function, and we're going to make this a compressor. We go 2-to-1 or 3-to-1, somewhere around there. And then we're going to compress this, and we're going to mess around with this attack and release time and listen to what it does to the kick drum and the shortening and the lengthening. Like, that's pretty crazy, right? Like, you can really shape something transient. Like, I'm going to just bypass this in and out. Right? So if you're having a hard time with a kick drum that just sounds like boom, 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 and you want it to sound like doo, 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 you can really shape it with the Omnipressor. Like, a lot of people reach for transient shapers and shit. Like, sometimes you just need a good compressor that does that, right? And you can do similar stuff probably with this compressor, but not to that effect. The Omnipressor is something kind of special. All right, so I like the Shadow Hills on this kick drum. Sounds really dope. Sounds very hip-hop. All right, that sounds fat. That sounds big. Now, black box analog design, this is where you can go even bigger without adding gain to your mix. This is perceived loudness. If you guys understand this, you'll start to make way better mixes. You know, instead of compressing and then adding a bunch of makeup gain and then like trying to keep pushing things up, parallel compression, distortion, harmonics, saturation, etc. is going to make your records a lot louder in perceived loudness, but it's not going to take up voltage. That's really, really important. So I'm going to bypass this in and out so you can really hear it. I mean, come on. It's like, that's a hip hop kick drum, and then it's like a puny little sample. It's like, yeah, this is all right. We're not gonna get into anything special here. You know what I mean? Like, damn. This right here is an amazing plugin. I can't get enough of it. Everybody loves that plugin. Anyone that uses that plugin loves it. Okay, 2K here. I'm going to take that off. I have a little dip at 25 hertz. I don't want that on. And then I have like a little, yeah, that's fine. And then little stereo widening going on here. In the sides, I'm taking out 57 hertz, you know, like this kind of vibe. I don't need this on or off right now. I don't even know yet, right? All I have is a kick drum on. So, test, why do you keep asking about the new gold clip? No, I haven't messed with the gold clip. I'm sorry. Test the new gold clip. I don't know what the gold clip is. I'm sorry. I use, for clippers, I use the SIR, which I love. I think this is the best clipper out there. What is it? Clip. Yeah, standard clip. This motherfucker. This is like best clipper out. I don't care. Like, I'll use this one because I know how to use it really well, and it sounds good. So that is the clipper I use. Gold clip, I don't know. I don't even know what that is. There's new plugins coming out every single day. Like, I can't keep up with all that shit. But yeah, like, if you got a link or something, you want me to really check it out, do a plugin of the week on it or something, yeah, I'll tap in. I'm always willing to try stuff out. Okay, so now we got this kick drum going pretty good. Let's pop in the clap here. Let's just get some drums going. Okay, so I hate that top end in that clap. So what I like to use for that is lo-fi. Lo-fi is amazing for this. Just kind of tame it out a little bit. You can use distortion and a little saturation. You could clip out the sample rate a little bit and just get the top garbage out. Cool, right? Very, very simple way to EQ without like throwing a bunch of EQ on it, because why? The lo-fi sounds musical. It kind of gives that clap a nice vibe. You can also use the sample rate reduction. I always think that's cool. So sometimes you want to use sample rate reduction, but not the saturation, because the saturation might take out too much top end, if that makes sense. But the sample rate reduction will take it to like 12 bits, which was like an SP1200 sampler, right? It was a 12-bit sampling machine. That's why it sounded how it sounded. So a lot of like classic hip hop and shit would use that. But I still just don't like that top end. That top end is going to make my ears just really, really tired. You know, that's how I feel about that. I'm going to take the distortion down a little bit, and I'm going to take the saturation up to 0.1 again, and I'm going to take the sample size back up to 24-bit, and I'm going to leave that how it is. Right? And if I want more snap out of that clap, which I don't know if I will until I hear it all in context sort of thing, right? I can easily do that. I can go back in and take care of that. Another thing I like to do with claps, which is, you know, Waves has the PS spread here. This is a really, really dope for claps. Like, just flip through a couple presets here. And what you want to do is find one that's just kind of, you know, spreading the top a little bit. And it's really, really dope for just kind of widening your clap out a little bit. And it gives like the vibe a little bit more. So I don't spread it too much, but you want to go here. Frequency here, you could probably start at like 200, 300, something like that. We just want to spread the top of the clap, make it a little bit wider. And when you see clip there, it's internally on a plugin that is 64-bit, so that's not really that big of a deal. But if you're, one of these people that like mixes with your eyes and you're so paranoid and so worried all the time about everything that you see when red happens, first of all, don't become a mixing engineer or mastering engineer. You won't make it. It doesn't make any sense. Use your ears. That's always number one. But if you want to be, a little more nitpicky, you can use your gain staging, right? The first gain stage is going to be your clip. So I'm going to take that down until I don't see any clipping here. It is hitting the lo-fi, which is adding gain, right? Like this is going to add gain no matter what when you hit the distortion. Probably not the saturation, but the distortion for sure. So just be mindful of your gain staging. Like that to me sounds way more musical as a clap. Let's bypass what in and out what we've done here on this clap by simply shift 2, right? Is gonna insert A through E, bypass in and out. We're just gonna A-B it. Really nice. And if you want to like maybe get some spit on the top of that, cool. Like add some spit back in. It's all up to you. I just don't want to take up precious high-end space on a clap that's really not that important, right? Now let's throw some hi-hats in. Let's hear what these are doing. All right, so really, really important. Hi-hats are right up the center. Like when I put these in, you're going to take up so much space on these hi-hats in the center. So watch what happens right in here with these hi-hats. Like for real, you want to give up that much real estate to a hi-hat? Like 6, 7, 8, 9, all this top end, you want to give that in the center of the mix. The center of the mix, you want to give up that real estate to the hi-hat. Fuck no. That's the answer, guys. So a couple little things that I might do, right? I might take out the bottom here. I might just shave this out, right? Just make sure this thing's not getting too clunky. All right, and I tamed down just a touch of that. Now to make it a little more vibey, you could also try this. You could try the spreader, right? And we could spread these a little bit. See how that gets them out of the center? Like that's really, really nice way to do it. And then I still feel like they're like not right. So I'm just going to go in with the Pro Q3 and I might just tame this out of the middle, right? Like I go just the middle, like, so I could leave it in the sides, but just in the middle, I want to tuck that down and maybe make it dynamic. So it kind of like tucks only when it's, hitting that frequency really hard. Yeah, that's not worth my high end. You know what I'm saying? So like, look how much I took out of that. Now let's pop this in and out. These hi-hats are still kind of annoying. So one last thing that I'm going to try with it is I'm going to try like a chorus, right? Like a chorus can go a long way with just kind of getting the hi-hats to sit in the mix better and not be like, wow, that is piercing my ears and really obnoxious. Right? Just kind of helps it sit in the mix a little bit better and also spreads it a little bit wider, which is nice. Gets it out of the center. Like I want that out of the center. Vocals are going to go in the center. The vocals are really high too in this track. Like they're up on the top. So I got clap, kick, blah, blah, blah. Get this stiggity diggity and then the margity beagity. And we're going to pop those hi-hats down even further because they are like, my ears are tired from listening to that right there. You know what I mean? I'm sure you guys are tired as well from that. So now 808, let's throw this 808 in. You know what sucks is when people don't tune their 808s. Like that is an out of tune 808. My friends, that is what happens when you don't know how to produce. No offense, because I think this beat is actually kind of tight. And maybe once we put everything in, like it all detunes against each other. But like that 808 is definitely out of tune. And it like has like it just feels like it's like flat and sharp in certain areas. Like here, like I'll show you what I'm talking about. Yeah, let's just put auto-tune on it. Auto-tune access. Yeah, maybe like, that's fine. We'll just leave it on C chromatic. I think we're in D major though, right? Yeah, D major. D major. Why won't you switch? You don't want to do that? Oh, it's not working? I don't know. That's weird. Let's try, that was really weird. EFX, auto-tune, EFX. Access ain't working for me, man. D major, all right? So D major, we'll go instrument and just watch how much this has to, I mean, it's obviously gonna try to retune it, even though it's like pitch fluctuation, but it's pretty damn out of tune. It won't even catch it anyway. It's too low. But anyway, I'm just gonna leave it for now because I don't want to mess with it. But let's Pro Q3 a little bit of that top buzz out. This 808 sounds pretty good. Like, I think it's like fitting in the mix really nicely. And I think it's because it's going through the drum mix bus with the drums, and it's just like giving a nice harmonic structure to it. Like, for example, I'll take it out of the drum mix bus and I'll just put it through the all drums, and you'll hear the difference with what's going on. So it's like the difference between like a tight and kind of harmonically involved saturation. You know, you got this 808 that's going to probably cut on small speakers and big speakers alike, or a really subby 808 that's kind of more dull. You know what I mean? It doesn't have that bzzz, the little buzz to it, which I like the buzz. I think it's really dope. One thing I would want to do with the 808 is maybe give it just a little bit more of that fatness at the bottom here. And there's different ways to do that, but I don't really want to do that on this yet because I feel like the drum mix and master bus is already kind of like shaping that low end. So if anything, I would maybe want to shape it here on the R bass or with the black box, you know what I mean? So let's mess around with this saturation here. All right, you see what I'm saying? And then those hi-hats are getting really annoying with that kind of saturation because they're obviously bringing those up as well and the distortion on those. So you could try taking the hi-hats and throwing them through just the all drums bus and just see if they become a little bit more crispy and not as saturated through the distortion. See what I'm saying? So now those hi-hats are actually a lot nicer. They're a lot more mellow and chill and part of the vibe of the song rather than them going ch-ch-ch-ch-ch. Because when you throw it through the mix bus and the master bus on the drums, it's saturating that with all these, right? So you're getting those harmonics. And sometimes the high-end stuff doesn't sound so good with those harmonics, right? I like what it's doing with the other drums, but I don't really like what it's doing with the hi-hat. Now, of course, like we're at a point now where we got the 808, we got the drums in, and they're at a pretty good level. I think I'm going to bring the 808 up just a touch, like maybe a dB or so on the gain here, because I do want this 808 to be hitting pretty hard. I want this to be hip hop still. Like it's kind of trap, right? Okay, and then this is where you want to start going, okay, that is the record right there. You know what I mean? Like this is hip hop. This is drums, and then what? You throw in the vocals, and then like you got some synths and textures and layers that you're gonna like tuck in the back. But this is really like how I start a mix and how I set everything. You know, because the drum, like especially in this genre. So when you're looking at the master clipping and stuff, you're talking about it hitting like certain transients and peaks. That's why it's clipping. Right? So watch as the drums hit and watch where the master clips. So if you're paying attention to the meter, it's mainly on the claps, right? Because claps are really transient. So you should not worry too much about those peaks. A lot of people worry about that stuff, but because the sound is so instantaneous, the ear doesn't catch it even if it does clip, even if it distorts, even if it has overs, you know what I mean? And we're also going to be hitting the master bus, the sub mix bus, you know, with limiting and stuff, right? So we haven't even done that yet. But this is a point where I would start to put that stuff on. So let's do it. Let's make it happen. You guys have any questions so far? I know a lot of y'all are like maybe taking notes, or what are you guys doing? Are you sleeping? What is this? Is a new clipper from Schwab Digital. A lot multi-platinum engineers test and have a lot of good comments. You can test 10 days free. Sick. I'll tap in and check it out, my man. Thank you. Yeah, any questions? You guys good? You guys awake still? It is Monday, you know. You got a case in the Mondays? How long we been streaming? Hour and 11 minutes. You guys better have not fell asleep on me. Let's bounce to the reference real quick.
Oh, here we go again. As I open up my eyes, I meet you when the sun rises. I'll be your morning light when it's dark outside, shining bright.
Yeah, already sounding much more musical. There's an issue though. If you listen to the reference, you hear all the pitch bending and the portamento and stuff on the 808. So I either have the 808 stem that does not have all that automation on it, and I need to get that from the producer, right? Feel me? So, but so far it sounds much fatter and fuller, and I haven't even added anything to the master bus. Like, fam, you got to understand, like, this shit's going to get way better. So let's get it. Just listening to my kids that make nice. No, it's all good, man. I was just making sure you guys are alive. Like, there's like 18 people on here, like, just not saying anything or asking questions. I don't know. When I get on live streams with engineers that I know are better than me and know can teach me a bunch of stuff, I'm like asking crazy questions like, yo, what are you setting that to? Why would you do that? What's another thing you could use? I don't have that. What would you use instead of that? You know? Like, I'm always asking questions, but yeah, of course, I love streaming with you guys. Like, I love helping you guys out. I hope you guys know that that's what this is all about. This is not about like anything else besides just showing you guys how to do the stuff I do every day, you know? So if you get anything out of it, drop comments, show likes, like engage, you know what I mean? Subscribe to the channel, share the channel with people. I do all this for free for you guys. I could easily just be flying through this mix right now. I'd have everything like moving probably, 3 to 4 times faster. And, but I like it. I enjoy teaching. Like, that's something I really like doing. So it's fun to jump on here and teach and help. So on the master bus, let's get back to what we're doing. One of my favorite plugins to hit first on the master bus is going to be the Manly variable mu. Okay, it's just something I really, really fucking like. And the reason I like it so much is just because of the harmonics and the tubes, and it just feels really good. So my starting point for the Manly is going to be where the input is great. Mix 100% wet, yes. The attack, slow down. And then the threshold is going to be, or the release, the recovery is going to be fast. I kind of like, mess around with this because this can vary. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to leave this on compress, and we're going to take this threshold to where it's just tickling a little bit, but it's adding a nice distortion and a nice push. It'll push things forward basically and give us more of like that jump out the speakers kind of vibe. And then we're going to mess with the input and output. Okay, more perceived loudness. And yeah, we're clipping the master right now, but that's neither here nor there because we're going to be gain staging as we go. What do we got? Thanks for the... We're interested in helping me. Yeah, of course, Malcolm. Thanks for subscribing to the channel. You guys have like access to all these replays. You can go back on them and learn as much as you want. It's an emulation of Lavery Gold Clipper with some goodies. Oh, nice. Yeah, I'll definitely check it out then. I didn't know that it was the Lavery Gold. That's amazing. I'll definitely tap in with that. I got friends that swear by the Lavery Golds. Can you talk a little bit about room acoustics? Did you treat your room yourself? Yeah, John. So I have a degree in sound. I got a bachelor's degree in sound, and that I got about 14 years ago or so. And I've studied sound. I've tuned probably a good 25 rooms or so by now. I'm very studied up on acoustics, room acoustics. I would recommend, if you guys want to learn more about acoustics, Acoustic Fields is probably the best place to really understand this stuff. So these guys are really, really expensive if you're like, you know, gonna tune a room with them or buy any of their products. But this dude, he is absolutely knows everything about acoustics, and anything else about acoustics like GIK and all this other shit. They don't really tell you the full truth about room acoustics, right? This guy, he's the only dude I trust like out there doing this kind of stuff with room acoustics. And he talks about bass traps and like how big bass traps actually have to be to absorb certain frequencies. They also have bass traps that are carbon filled. So they're carbon filled, carbon technology bass traps. He talks about diffusion, 2D, 3D. There's so much in his YouTube channel that you can literally just like acoustic filled. Like I would just fucking go into this YouTube channel and really like study up on this. If you want to learn about room tuning and stuff, it's pretty vanilla stuff. Like, you know, you're like, oh God, room energy modes and all this stuff that he talks about. It's like really can get boring. But if you're into room tuning and treating rooms and getting a great sound out of your room, then yeah, this guy's the guy. Oh, and here's Brad Hanel. Like I've worked with Brad. So I worked with Brad Hanel at on the Lego Movie, right? So that was the first time I ever worked with him, but I've worked with him on multiple movies, and great guy. He lives in Hollywood. He's here in Hollywood, and Acoustic Fields, like, yeah, just this stuff is just crazy. Like he knows his shit. He's the only guy I trust when it comes to acoustic stuff, as far as like talking about the real shit, right? So there you go. There's just a little tip for you on that. I won't go too deep into any of that stuff. But yeah, I treated this room. I use REW, right? And I have these monitors. I'll show you the monitors I have just so you can really understand the room tuning and stuff. I have the Dutch and Dutch. That's what I'm using right now. 8C white on white. These are the speakers that I use. So I think these are probably used. Yeah, those are used. Yeah, these guys. So these actually have built-in. These are my monitors, right? These have subs in the back, and they couple with the wall. So here's the subs, and they have like two 8-inch subs on each of the speakers. They're also cardioid. So they're cardioid, meaning they have offside rejection, and they fire everything from the mid driver and the high tweeter from 100 hertz up to 20K or 22K directly forward, right? They have built-in tuning and EQ, right? So if I go, like, for example, LAN speaker, I'm connected. My speakers are connected to my Ethernet, and I can see my speakers here, and I can load up EQs, right? So I have firmware in them. They're very, very, very insane speakers. And you can see here, like, some of the stuff that I've done. There is like filters on these, right? Linear phase filters. You tell the speaker how far it is from the front wall, and the bass couples to the wall. I have a 0.5 boost on my bass. I have a 1 dB sub enhancement. I have a parametric EQ on 170 hertz, 191, 283, and 335. And then it goes all the way down. And those filters and EQs are from shooting the room and loading that shoot into my speakers. My shit's really technical, y'all. Like I master, I do pretty intense shit with what I do. These speakers are no joke. They're very, very serious. You can see they're, what is this, 12,000, I don't even know what the fuck that is. Is that euros? Probably euros, yeah. So like euros to dollars, USD. So these are, I don't even remember how much I paid for these guys. What is this? What is euros? Why are you doing this? Anyway, I'm not trying to spend too much time on this shit, but yeah, it's somewhere around like 17 grand or something, 15, 16, 17 grand. I'm not sure. I forgot how much I spent on these, but yeah, that's what I got going on as far as room tuning and speakers, and the room is very tuned. I probably have about 12 grand in tuning, like real traps, bass traps, ceiling, some diffusion. Really, you want to treat the room like with bass traps first, and you want to get the bass really, really tight. And then you want to worry about mid-range frequencies and decay times, linear stuff, meaning you got to use the right foam. You don't just use like broadband absorbers. Those don't work. Yeah, just study up on the shit. I mean, you don't want me to get too deep into it. I have a course. Like if you want to get my masterclass on, it's called Room on a Budget. Like hit me up on my email and I'll send you a link to get that. And I think you'll learn so much from that it could change everything for how you're listening to things. Because the room and the speakers are room, speakers, ears, right? And really it's like ears, room, speakers, right? Or ears, speakers, room. Those are like the top three, like if you don't have those, you're not mixing, you're not mastering, you're just fucking messing with shit, you're just twisting knobs and you're like hearing stuff that's not there. You're tuning to your room. You're playing, you're not really doing this. You're guessing. You're doing a lot of guessing. So yeah, definitely you got to spend a lot of time on this shit. But yeah, I'm obsessed with this shit. When I learn all the language, I will have lots of questions. Yeah, fair enough. I get that. It took me many years to understand everything. Do you do consultations on this? I'm having a problem in my room. I have a null at 100 hertz. It has a lot to do with the dimensions of your room, to be honest. 100 hertz is always going to be a problem, especially in a basic room. If you're in a room that's any sort of standard measurement in a house room with like ceilings that are lower, you're going to have a problem at 100 hertz, just the way it is. So no, I don't do consultations, but like I said, I have a masterclass. You should hit me, and it's a full video thing. It'll teach you a lot about speaker placement, about tuning a room, about shooting a room, about everything, right? Like if you guys aren't hearing things right, you're not mixing. Like I said, you're not actually mixing. You're just screwing songs up. You're just tweaking stuff and using plugins and things that you're not even hearing. Like you're better off getting a pair of headphones, right? Like get headphones. Just get these. These are awesome. Audio-Technicas M58X. Amazing headphones. Like don't try and like make your room perfect and get amazing speakers in there if you're not going to be able to get there, because you're just going to be chasing your tail. And that's really tough. That's really demoralizing. Audis MM500s, not too familiar with them. I've used the Audis before. I'm not sure which ones I used, but they're hyped. They sound hi-fi to me. The high end is like really sparkly. They're made for enjoyment. You know what I mean? Like they're not made for, this is exactly what you're hearing. You know what I mean? They're very much like an experience. They're the really heavy ones, right? But yeah, you can learn those. You can learn any headphone. That's the whole point, right? Like learn shit. It's better to learn a headphone than to learn a room that's like so fucked up. Like you don't have the resources, the money, you don't have the time to really learn the room, tune the room, get the bass trapping. Bass trapping, you're just not going to get there. You know what I mean? Like if your room is a normal size room, you're not going to get bass trapping right. Sorry, it's just the way it is. That's why I have Dutch and Dutch 8Cs in this room, because these can get me so close. Like I'm hearing shit how it needs to be heard because of the technology of the speaker. Like I've tuned and I've bass trapped and I've taken care of a lot of problems with the tuning and the acoustics. But then I spent 17 grand on speakers that work with the room and tune to the room and couple with the bass. And bro, it's just like, come on, just hire someone. Like you guys get your shit to a certain point and then have me finish off the mix and master. Like $400. You can spend 40 grand or you can spend $400 on, what is that, 100 songs? You know what I mean? Like just get it right. Build your catalog, build your music up to the point where you have a ton of really nice assets. Get assets that are valuable, which are songs that are very valuable. They sound great. They're going to stream forever. They're going to last forever. You can sync license them. You can build relationships with them. You can open up publisher relationships, label relationships, collaborations with other producers, writers that are better than you that can open doors for you. That's how you do it. Everybody's concerned with sitting in a room by themselves with 40 grand worth of gear that they don't know how to use. Like that's fucking stupid. I'm sorry. Like, if I was an artist or a producer and I didn't want to be a mixing, mastering engineer as a living, which is what I do. Okay. I make my living producing, mixing, mastering, composing. That's how I make my living. If I wasn't making my living mixing and mastering in any sense, I would hire out that stuff every single fucking time. Because I can't tell you how much money and resources and decades I've spent doing and getting precise to the point where I can actually get a mix and master and get it down to a point where I can just keep translating and keep hitting and keep making great shit. So I'm not trying to convince you guys of anything. You guys do whatever the fuck you want to do. But at the end of the day, I'm giving you my opinion. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Hit me. I just dropped it in the chat, brother. Awesome, man. I'm so happy. Like, look, Lincoln, like the biggest thing about these live streams is I want you guys to walk away with this and be like, yo, I just learned so much. And the reason I put the replays up only for members of the channel that pay $5 a month is because those people are the people that pay attention. If you guys pay just even a little bit of money, and I find like the more you pay, the more you're going to pay attention. Like the more I pay for learning, the more I pay attention to it, the more I rinse and repeat, the more I go back to it. So yeah, it's very important that you guys get a lot out of this. They're modeled by Manny Marquis. Yeah, I'm sure they're good. I don't know. Are you trying to sell me on them? Like I've used Audis before. Like I've used all this shit, like Audio Technica. I have the Slate Digital headphones and they sit there because I don't fucking use them. I don't like them, you know? I've been through all this stuff. You guys, I've been doing this for 25 years. Like I've listened to them. I've heard the plugins. I know, okay, I got it. Thank you. But like at the end of the day, I just want to make it really, 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 really clear. You can get whatever gear you want. You can get these headphones. You can get these headphones, bro. Like these Sonys are shit. They sound like garbage. To me, these sound like trash. But if you learn these and you can mix on them because you learn them and how they translate, then you can get these. And these are $80, right? You can go get the Audis because they sound good and they're fun to play with. Like, because you got the dough for it. Go do that. You can be like me, be a crackhead and go tune out all your shit and buy the $17,000 monitors and move everything around and tune everything. But you know, like just figure out what works for you is all I care about. If you can make shit translate, you're going to make shit translate. You have to teach your ear what sounds good and what's right and what's wrong. All right, back to it. I got like 5 more minutes here. I'm going to just show you a couple more things, okay? Variable mu on the master bus. At the end of this chain, I just really, really want to put my limiter on here, okay? So for this one, I'm going to do this amazing plugin from Music Hack. These guys shot this over to me, and I was blown away by it. And I did a plugin of the week on it on the channel here on the YouTube. It's stupid. This thing's stupid. It sounds so good, and it's awesome for the widening. It's awesome for the mastering. All this shit is so dope on it. Like, it's just a great plugin made by good dudes that know what the fuck they're doing, okay? It's one knob. That's all you do. Just this one knob. And then if you want to get special and you want to do some crazy shit down here, you can do thick and all that. For now, I'm going to just turn this on because it's a limiter, and the out is already at a ceiling, okay? I mean, shit, those drums are hitting now, right? Like, but you know, I'm not done here. I just wanted to throw that limiter on here. I don't want to boost it too much. I'm just going to leave it on, okay? After the variable mu, I want to have something that's going to be something I can just use, okay? So what that is for me in my my experience over and over again is I always go back to the V3. So the V3 BX Digital, this mastering one, not the BX Digital V3 mix, but the BX Digital, here we go. So BX Digital V3, this is just awesome mid-side EQ. I just want to have it on. I want to have it here, okay? I'm not going to tweak much. I'm just going to maybe widen out just a touch. You got to be really careful with all the widening. And then I'm going to leave everything else. Everything else is good. Mono section, stereo section. That's all it is. You got a mono maker, which you can put things in the center, blah, 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 blah. Okay, but I got an EQ. Okay. Now, after this, I go variable mu. I got an EQ. I don't know what else I want, so I'm going to leave it. I don't need anything else. I got variable mu, EQ, master plan at the end, okay? Now I'm going to start bringing in other shit. So, for example, there's a bass in here. This is going to be a disaster. So you got a bass below an 808. See, that doesn't even sound right. That sounds fucked up. So I think he was probably doing something with side chaining and stuff. I'll have to hit up the artist or the producer and be like, yo, what were you doing with the 808 and the bass? Can you just send me that stem? Because like if we go back to the reference here, like just listen to the reference, listen to the bass in the 808.
Shining bright like a star in the night sky. 48 feet phantom on the highway. Norman 87 burning bright. Don't look directly into the go again.
Right? So there's something, there's portamento, there's automation on that. We also have just the beat stem right here. Let's listen to this. Let's just hear this without any of his shit on here. And go out the mono left right. And this is just the beat. Let's listen to low. Yeah, the 808 stem that I have is not right, which kind of sucks, right? This happens though. You're working with artists that, you know, may not know everything about what they're doing, and that's okay. Like I'm here to help people. That's what I do, right? That's my job. My job is to help people that don't necessarily know what they're doing. Like they're like, I got as far as I could go. Here, you do your thing on it. Make it better. Like it's kind of mentoring in a sense. You're like, okay, I need this. This is wrong. Could you send me this? Go back and forth. Your mic preamp gain, you should probably change that, you know? Like you teach people. That's a big part of mixing or producing. Okay, so let's listen to where I got it.
Oh, here we go again. As I open up my eyes.
Yo, y'all notice also the 808 is not in tune. It's like not in the right key. So listen to the reference 808 and then listen to the one we got. It's like, buh, and then it goes, buh. Like it's like a different pitch.
Oh, here we go again. As I open
So yeah, it's totally wrong. Like I don't even want to use that 808. So I'll just kind of take that out for now. Let's just mute it. I don't want to mess with that if it's not even going to be the right thing. So we got the drums. Let's pop in the lead vocal. Or what do we got here? This is like a weird sound. Oh, okay. So another thing, we want to make sure we route everything. So let's take all of these guys, which are all instruments, and let's take these out a new track. And we'll go to instrument mix. Instrument mix bus. Boop, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep. Unlock. All right. And then on top of the instruments, I always put the mix bus. And then you can always go beep. And then this is going to go to all instruments. That's right. You nailed it. All instruments. Bam. Okay. And then all instruments bus always goes up here where all the other stuff is. So you got all drums, all instruments, and then make sure you solo safe, which is command click the S, and then that's going to go out to the submix, right? So submix is where everything's going to end up. No paralleling, right? And then on that all instruments bus, we can add process, or not on that, but on the mix bus, on the instrument mix bus. So here's your instrument mix bus. This is where you might add plugins like compression, saturation, things to keep things together, maybe widening, etc. on the actual instruments. So the stems are wrong. We got to check with the producer, but you guys have any last questions before I get out of here? Appreciate you guys coming through this, the stream. Like, you know, hopefully you got a lot out of this. The replay will be available for anybody that joins the channel. Okay, $5 a month. That will go up. Okay, I'm just warning you guys. Like, if you get in now, you'll keep it at $5 a month. But I'm like dropping so much content and so much game for you guys that I'll have to increase that price to be able to just like continue to make these streams happen. Like, nobody's paying me for this shit, you know what I'm saying? So I want to make sure that I can continue to do this so that I'm not, you know, putting my clients on the back burner so that I can teach you guys stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's hard because like no one, you know, like who pays for the time, the hour and a half, the 2 hours, the 5 hours, the 10 hours a week, you know? So if you guys want the replays, $5 a month, join the channel, become a member, and you could subscribe. I'll send you the link here so you can subscribe to it. It's well worth it. I mean, if you think I do at least 1 to 3 streams every single week on mixing, and you're going to have access to go back on those at any time and learn anything you need. Oh, I forgot. He said something about this mix chain or whatever. You go back on that, $5 a month. Like, I'm trying to make sure that everyone can afford it so you guys can get something out of it. Okay. Let me get you a link though, because yeah, let me find that. I never know how to navigate any of this shit in the back end of YouTube. Kind of a pain in the ass. But hey, you know, trying to help out, trying to help you guys get some game and learn some shit and not have to go like, you know, chasing people down that are gatekeeping all this stuff. Cause I'm not hiding anything from you guys. I'm sharing everything I know with you guys. I'm not like, no, I can't tell you that. That's a secret that I use. Like, no, I don't give a shit. So there's the link if you want to join. I will, yeah, star that. I don't know how to do that, but that's it. That's the whole thing. That's the stream for today. You guys, I really appreciate you streaming the song. I don't know if you've checked out the latest single I dropped. I dropped it on Friday. It's called Bring Those Good Times Back. Go tap in. Go check it out. Let me know what you think. That's a song that I wrote, produced, arranged, mixed, mastered, did everything on, right? So that's something maybe you can have a listen to and kind of hear where I put my music at, if that makes sense, rather than like, you know, when I'm mixing a client's work or whatever. That's where my head's at with production and stuff and writing and all that. But if you have checked it out, Bring Those Good Times Back. It's featuring an artist that I'm good friends with. His name's Concept. show some love, you know what I mean? Tag me up on some stories, share the song, you know, put it in your Spotify playlist, whatever you can do, because you know how it is. If you're an artist, you know how it is, man. Like, you got to hustle making content and people are like, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, stop telling me about it. You know what I mean? So try to support each other. Like, I'm trying to build a community here where people are supportive, and I really don't want to fuck with anybody that's not like that. If people are like just coming through trying to get free shit all the time, most of the time those people don't last anyway. They're not in the industry. They don't make anything special. They drop off real quick. So yeah, just help build this community. Okay? That's all I ask. I'm not asking for your money. You don't need to join the channel if you can't afford $5 a month, but like, share the music, you know, share the game. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sharing with you guys pass it on. All right. Thanks so much. Peace out, guys.